Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 for Tuesday, March the 8th, 2022. An incredibly volatile day in the markets today, with all of the markets basically starting with a little bit of a rally and then a nosedive and then an absolute nosebleed rally. So let's kind of dive in. I've made a change to the labeling, which is going to clean up a few problems that I was having after today's trade. So I am still counting a minor third wave down, but after today's rally, come on. Okay, that didn't work. Let me just take a minute to get back over there. Sorry about that. Hourly chart, and let's try that again. There. Okay. After today's rally, so previously I was counting minute wave 1, minute wave 2, this was minute wave 3, and this was to be minute wave 4. Well, minute wave 4, the rule is that a fourth wave cannot overlap wave 1, because then it's no longer correcting wave 3. This one got pretty close. And, you know, the high, so wave 1 bottomed at 4283.75. Wave 2 topped at 4275. And that was just too big. It was too big in context of how I was labeling this chart. So I switched around after taking another good look and admitting that one of my, I guess, weaknesses when I'm counting is I tend to count degrees a little bit too quick. And so I needed to pull back, take a look at the 4-hour chart, take a look at the 1-hour chart again, and then realized that this is wave 1, subminute, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to produce minute 1. Now it's not the prettiest third wave that I've ever seen, but it fits with the acceleration that we had at different parts. The rallies were big, but they're all going to have to work, because this is what I believe is happening right now. And I'm continuing to feel that the market has an additional large leg down to complete before we get a substantial and sustainable, I mean sustainable over like a week, maybe 2 of a rally. So today's rally was really based on, I think we got a lot of news coming out about Russia, or that the government has decided to put a ban on importing Russian oil. And so that initially just kind of took the price of crude up through the moon. And at the same time, gave pause that the fact may come in that, okay, maybe this Russian conflict, they're supposed to have peace talks, it's supposed to open up humanitarian corridors, et cetera, is going to come to an end. Everybody's going to shake hands, go home, reparations, rebuild, et cetera, et cetera. That is not what I think the case is going to be whatsoever. More likely what today really was about is the continuing putting out there of information in that the money flow and the distribution has really gone up. And we can see that even here in the S&P, the money flow just skyrocketed today. So, and that was reflected, of course, on just straight buying. And that is more of a normal function of what we see at the beginning of each month. So normally on the second Monday and Tuesday of the month, we see new 401k, new IRA money that has been shifted over and given to the funds and given to the portfolio people, and it's being put into the market. We've seen it on a pretty consistent basis. That, I believe, is what produced our large rally. More importantly, the market rejected it. It rejected it twice. Here we came down, they tried to rally it again, and it was rejected twice. So once on the initial, and then again on the second attempt into the close in that last hour of trade. Now, where we closed at 41.52. The low is 41.38. So we're less than 20 points away from the low, whereas the high today was 42.75. So we're 120 points away from the high. The market rejected the buying. And it was not, it was very, at the time when it was happening, it was strong. They were coming in, pushing. The Russell led the way. The Russells just saw tons of money and orders to buy come in. So they were really picking up and scooping mid caps. And the Russell ended up very slightly on the day. The S&P finished the day down 46 after being up 80 plus. That's a massive turn in the S&P. Now that also fits with this being wave one and this being wave two, because if what I would be looking for in a kickoff phase of a third wave is, as I've said so many times before, acceleration to the downside. So we got it, they tried to buy it back up, and then it just kicked back in, and they held it all the way through that final hour of trade, and then the extra hour that they get after hours to for funds and mutual guys to come in and do what they need to do. Now, what can happen from here? I believe we're going to start to see some additional acceleration. Now, we saw it here, and it fit beautifully. But again, it was a third wave, but it was a third wave on a sub-minute level. Now we're going to take it up a degree. So I would expect it to be stronger and last longer. So that, we're on a degree higher. And in fact, we can go up one more degree. We're on counting also a minor third. So we're into the minute 3 of minor 3. And we can go up an additional degree. We're in a minute 3 of a minor 3 of an intermediate 3. So we've got, the deck is stacked for this thing to just, again, reach that point of recognition where it's like, oh, like was announced in the Dow yesterday, the Dow was going down, and there was a news story that came out and said that the Dow Jones is now in a correction. Okay, you pick that one up, that's good. But now that's a point of recognition type stuff. We're going to get that, I think, in the S&P and in the NASDAQ now, and also probably in the Russell, where that recognition of, oh, we're in a correction. This isn't a bottom, we're still in the correction. So they're going to be looking for additional downside. And that'll also create and contribute to some acceleration. So we'll see. So now what we have is a situation where if we're looking for this to accelerate lower, first thing needs to break below 4138.75. Boom, that's a good one. Then it needs to break below 4101. That's the low of minor wave 1. So as far as minor wave 3 is concerned, it needs to break below that level. Minute 3 needs to break below this level and then keep going. So where's our support start to come in? I'm going to add one additional because I'm going to take this particular Fibonacci's off, and that is for that larger intermediate degree. And I'm going to add a Fibonacci's for the minute 3. So, okay. So where we have support at 4136. That just is going to be, I believe, a place to pause. I don't think that, it'll be making a new low under there. Maybe we get a pause or a little bounce. 4136. Then we have 4103. Then we have 4079. Then we have 4056. And where minute 3 would be equal to minute 1 is 3,997, I'm going to call it. Now, that is where I think that minute 3 can take a pause and possibly even just hold there. But I believe that what's going to happen is we're likely going to come down to this level, maybe even lower, to complete the minute 3, get a wave 4 bounce, and then minute 4, and then do another 5, minute 5 down. And that's the one I would expect to kind of get us back down to 3824-ish, 3800. Now for minor 3, we can look out. These would work to complete minor wave 3, but minor wave 3 would be 1.618 of minor 1, most common Fibonacci extension at 3635. So we got a lot of work. That's 500 points from where we are, 500 points plus from where we are right now on the close. So we're looking for these levels to get broken. This might just be a pause. This might just provide another pause, and we start to end up down in here, then rally, then come back and finish it up down here. So minute 3, do a 4, and then minute 5 brings us down into here. Minor 3 also completes. Then we get a minor 4th wave rally. And that's going to be a little bit bigger. So again, as I said yesterday, I was looking for a little bit bigger than what we had seen. This was too big. In the context of a 4th wave, too big. Second wave fit perfect. That's why there was another switch. So for tomorrow, again, I cannot discount another attempt of moving in and just driving this market higher. If we may get it, and if it happens, I'm going to say wave 2 is still in progress. But you can see they did it today. They just blasted right through all of these moving averages, and they succeeded. They didn't get up and break the 200, but they did get back up over the 20 and the 50, and that produced acceleration. Same way on the way down, it produced acceleration. So if they come in overnight and they don't make a new low and start to just pump it back up, then we're looking for a break above 42.75 and likely get up to 43.04. And that would still be a minor wave 2, excuse me, a minute wave 2. So either way, if we get a rally, great, trade it. Today was extremely profitable. It was extremely volatile in terms of the speed at which the market moved in both directions. So you kind of had to stay on your toes. You really had to follow the price action. And in actuality, you also had to realize if it got down to a moving average and it kind of held and bounced, that's all it was just day traders coming and going like, we're bouncing off of that level with the hope that maybe we'll get a bigger move. But many times it was just, maybe a few points and then boom, next level comes in and breaks. So be very careful. Choose your points wisely, and also where you want to get out and then get in. Do not get married to any position to the long side or the down or the short side, because the volatility is much higher. So the speed is truly increased. So I'm looking for basically just a shallow bounces right now. It's really to be held by the 4 and the 8. Those would go right in there. Like from here, I would think that a stronger bounce would be back to 41.94. That's $40. That's 40 points. And that I think would be big. But I'm looking for continued downside. We start to break below. Again, upside, it's going to have to go break these moving averages and just keep on going. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Trade smart, trade using the moving averages. Everything that we talk about, it really does come into play. Keep a good mindset. Keep focused on the price action and what the market is doing. Try not to focus on APNL, on anything else, because your focus and your thoughts have got to really be on what's happening in front of you. All right, have a great trading day tomorrow, and the next update will be on Wednesday the 9th.